All right, hello everyone. I'm Sarah Oran, and this is Abigail, and we are presenting on behalf of the Nebraska Water Center for their Know Your Well project. Just to start, a quick history on Nebraska Water Center. It was established in 1964 due to a congressional mandate as an outreach and research department for the Nebraska Water Center. And Know Your Well, more specifically, is a nonprofit project that is outreach to high school students and allows them to test their local wells' water quality and provide safer water for residents.
And obviously, shout out to our sponsors. We have obviously Dan, Mark, and Sarah here, who we've worked with most. And also including Mary Harner, David Casada, Craig Eating, Austin Hill, and some students at UNK. And then our team, Sarah and I are here, but we also have William B., Joe Davis, Fahad Naif, William White. And we were working with Aaron Davis, Deming as our coach, and Vinod, Variam, and Bill Browning. So we were introduced with the task. We have an app that sort of worked at one point in time that existed, but we no longer have any of that information. So we've been just doing things on paper. We've been doing things on Google Forms and Excel sheets, really not efficient and taking up a lot of time. So in turn, we had the opportunity to make a new application for Know Your Well.
Which leads us to our app specifications. Basically, we wanted to make sure that this app was usable for multiple devices of different brands and that it would be downloadable for offline use, which is why we came to the idea of a progressive web application. We also needed to make sure that they could submit data that would be saved to a centralized database for everyone to be able to view, and including past data as well as automated data collection and retrieval. And again, just making sure that the data they submit is validated and makes sense and is not like a crazy number that wouldn't exist. And also collecting the location of these wells from the phone. So to start, you can kind of see the basic layout of how we wanted to format some of our items on the app. And so you can kind of see just like the basic layout and some of the design of how we started, as well as seeing how it resizes and is usable for different devices and still looks nice in those different sizes. We also included a page about the project in general so that students can familiarize themselves with more information about the project, learn where to visit to get more information, as well as view related organizations.
Yeah, so to start off, the students will be landing at a well selection page where it will initially load up until it has all of its information. And then if it's empty, if it's brand new, it will just have a create a new well section. And if there already been a few wells entered in, they will have the option to either create a new well or to select a well that's already been created. And then once they create a well, they will have a list of information that they need to include. Some things are required, some things are not, and we make sure to highlight the required things so that they make sure what they need to submit. And then after they have created a well, they're able to go into that well and see this page that gives them opportunities to submit more information.
Yeah, and in addition to submitting more information on those grounds, we'll start with the first thing they'll be tasked with, which is creating a field entry, which is basically them going out into the field and collecting data about how the well looks to them, and some of the other basic traits of the well, as well as collecting the water. This will also allow them the chance to use their phone to collect GPS coordinates, and then like, as you can see here, it also like allows them to understand like what things need to be submitted for them as well as what does not. And then at the end of each of these pages, we have a submit back and save button, which allows them to either submit their data to that centralized database return back to their well page or save. And we have a few notifications as far as saving and caching goes. So here's one of them, which basically lets you know that if you are going to do like a save, your previous save data will be overwritten, and it's just a warning to make sure that they don't overwrite anything they already have. And as well, you can kind of see here some of the warnings that make sure that they fill out these fields.
And so after they create a field, they can click the class lab, and in order to fill out a class lab, you have to make sure you've selected a matching fields form. So this is something that they would have already filled out. And so once they select that, they will enter into the class lab page, where they will be able to enter in all of that data that they need to. And these boxes highlight red when they are invalid, especially like when they start where it's empty. But once they have submitted data that fulfills that requirement, it will deselect so that they can visually see what they've done so far.
And then after they've submitted some data, they might go and try and view some of their previous entries, which was that last option on that home page for the well. Basically, you can see an example of that where they're all listed by the original field date, and then it has both their field and their class lab associated. And if they do not yet have a class lab for that field, it's grayed out, just so that they know that they have yet to submit something for there.
So the value and highlights for us and Know Your Well, especially for Know Your Well, we are very excited to introduce them to this new application that they can use to spend more time on what helps the students and what helps the program, rather than just filling out paperwork, making sure the forms are up to date, making sure people collect all the papers, get things in the right Excel format. Nobody likes doing that. So now that we have one centralized location that we can do everything, the students can get more validation and can feel more confident in what they're doing, and more work can actually get done. And the team is super excited. We got to learn how to use the PWA, a progressive web application. None of us had done that before, and working with offline caching, that was all new. And that was really, really good for us, and also to continue to work with practicing like communication. It's great to work with actual sponsors and not just a professor. It gives us more real life experience, and practice working in teams, and we had a really good time. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Do you guys have any questions? All right, then again, thank you.